Welcome back to the Red Devils report. Ruben Amorim is on borrowed time at Manchester United, and this time the pressure isn't just coming from fans or pundits, it's coming from inside the club. Jason Wilcox wants change, the board wants flexibility, and Amorim, he's digging his heels in. So the question is simple: does Ruben Amorim adapt, or does he walk himself out of Old Trafford? Let's get into it. Manchester United's season has been one big contradiction. On paper, they're competing near the top end of the Premier League. On the pitch, performances have been wildly inconsistent. One week, United look structured, aggressive and modern. The next, passive, predictable and tactically exposed. And that's where the frustration comes in. Because after more than a year in charge, Ruben Amorim's United still don't feel adaptable. They feel rigid. And at an elite club like Manchester United, that's a massive problem. Amorim has lived and died by his system, a clear structure, defined roles, patterns drilled relentlessly. And when it works, it looks very good. But here's the issue: when it doesn't work, Amorim rarely changes it. Opponents know how United will line up, they know where the overloads are, they know where the weaknesses are, and too often United fail to adjust during games. Not just week to week, but minute to minute. That's not evolution, that's stubbornness. This is where Jason Wilcox enters the picture. According to Give Me Sport's Ben Jacobs, there's growing tension between Wilcox and Amorim, and it centres on one key demand: tactical adaptability. Wilcox isn't asking Amorim to abandon his philosophy, he's asking him to be flexible within it. Change shape mid-game, adjust pressing triggers, respond to opponents instead of reacting after damage is done. At top clubs, managers evolve or they get replaced, and Wilcox knows that. What makes this even more frustrating? Amorim has already shown he can tweak things. In recent weeks, we saw slight adjustments. Different build-up patterns, more midfield support, better balance in possession. And guess what? Performances improved. But then he reverted back. And immediately, United's level dropped again. That tells the board everything they need to know. The solution exists. The manager just isn't committing to it. Amorim is also unhappy. He's frustrated with the lack of clear transfer planning. He wants reinforcements, he wants backing, and that frustration is understandable. But here's the problem: when results dip, tactical inflexibility always comes before recruitment excuses. Managers don't get sacked because they lack signings. They get sacked because they fail to maximise what they already have. And right now, the board believes Amorim can do more without spending a pound. Now let's talk about Amorim's comments this weekend, because they raised eyebrows. Despite being hired as the head coach, Amorim said, "I came here to be the manager of Manchester United. It's going to be like this for 18 months or until the board decide to change. I'm not going to quit." That doesn't sound like unity. That sounds like a man drawing lines. At a club already feeling fragile, those comments don't help. They create distance, they create tension, and they make directors ask one dangerous question: is this getting harder than it needs to be? Look at elite managers across Europe: Pep Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti, Mikel Arteta. All have principles, all have systems, but they adapt game to game, half to half. At Manchester United, expectations are unforgiving. You don't get time and patience. You get one or the other. Right now, Amorim is burning through patience. If Ruben Amorim wants to survive the second half of this season, three things must happen immediately. One, show tactical flexibility, not just once, but consistently. Two, stop fighting the narrative and start controlling performances. Three, rebuild trust with the directors, especially Jason Wilcox. This isn't about ego anymore, it's about survival. Ruben Amorim doesn't need to abandon his identity, but at Manchester United, identity without adaptability gets you sacked. So what do you think? Should Amorim stick to his system no matter what, or finally evolve? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe to Red Devils Report. In other news, Manchester United are back in the market, not for hype, not for headlines, but for a deal that suddenly looks too good to ignore. An elite midfielder long-term interest. Fresh checks made this week. And here's the key detail. The price has dropped below 40 million euros. Manchester United have quietly steamed back into the race for Atalanta midfielder Ederson. And this could be one of the most important January stories you're not hearing enough about. Today, we're breaking down why United are re-engaging now, what's changed with Ederson's price, why this deal is tempting but complicated, and where he fits into Ruben Amorim's long-term midfield plan. Let's get into it. If there's one position Manchester United cannot ignore, it's midfield. Internally, the club accept a hard truth. Every current midfielder has question marks over their long-term future, some because of age, some because of profile, some because they simply don't fit what Ruben Amorim wants long-term. United's plan is clear. 2 new midfielders by 2026. At least one who can arrive early and bed in. No short-term loans, no panic buys. They want players who, Hamming, can impact immediately, still have peak years ahead, fit a high-intensity physical system. That's where Ederson comes back into the conversation. Ederson isn't flashy. He doesn't dominate highlight reels. He doesn't rack up viral clips. But for scouts, he's gold dust. At Atalanta, Ederson is physically powerful, relentless in duels, intelligent in positioning, comfortable in a high-tempo system. He can play as a defensive midfielder, operate as a box-to-box presence, protect the back line, drive forward when needed. In short, he's functional elite. The kind of player managers trust, the kind of player systems rely on, and crucially, United's scouting reports on him are strong. For months, Ederson felt out of reach. Atalanta didn't want to sell. The valuation felt steep. Timing didn't suit. But now, sources indicate Ederson could be available for under 40 million euros. That changes everything. For United, that's affordable, that's budget-friendly, that's low risk compared to £100 million targets. Intermediaries acting on United's behalf have made fresh checks on his availability, his real valuation, Atalanta's stance. This isn't casual interest. This is reactivated pursuit. At under 40 million euros, Ederson becomes a market opportunity. Now here's the complication. Despite the price talk, Atalanta are reluctant to sell in January. They see Ederson as central to their season, difficult to replace mid-campaign, important for their European ambitions, and then there's the player himself. Ederson wants clarity on one thing above all: Champions League football next season. That's a big issue because while United are rebuilding, Champions League qualification is not guaranteed. So even if the price is right, United are interested. The scouting is positive. The player's ambition could slow things down. This may be a deal that moves slowly, depends on league position, or waits until summer. Let's be clear, Ederson is not United's only target. He's part of a wider midfield shortlist that includes Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, Conor Gallagher, Ruben Neves. Each offers something different. Baleba equals elite long-term cornerstone. Wharton equals technical controller. Anderson equals energy and Premier League readiness. Ederson equals value plus reliability plus physical presence. United are weighing cost versus upside, immediate impact versus long-term ceiling. Ederson may not be the flashiest name, but at this price, he might be the smartest move. United ideally want one midfielder now, one later, someone who can settle in, learn Amorim's system, be ready to explode next season. Ederson fits that profile. He wouldn't arrive with unrealistic pressure, record fee expectations, but he would bring stability, physicality, tactical discipline. And sometimes that's exactly what a rebuilding team needs. Manchester United haven't abandoned their big money dreams, but they're also not blind to opportunity. Ederson at under 40 million euros represents value, experience, tactical fit. The deal is complicated. January may be tough. Champions League football matters. But make no mistake, Manchester United are back in the race, and this one is very much alive. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe for daily Man United transfer news and let me know in the comments. Would you take Ederson for under 40 million euros? Or should United wait and go all in on Baleba or Wharton? In other news, Manchester United are quietly preparing for their biggest midfield move in a decade. Not a loan, not a stopgap, not a short-term fix. A £100 million midfielder and described internally as ideal for Ruben Amorim. Personal terms already discussed. And now here's the key detail. Bayern Munich believe this player is heading to Old Trafford. Today we're breaking down why Manchester United are obsessed with Carlos Baleba, what Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed, why Bayern have stepped back, and why this deal could smash United's transfer record. Let's get into it. Forget the noise around attackers. If you speak to people close to the club, the message is clear. Manchester United's rebuild lives or dies in midfield. Right now, Casemiro is ageing. Ederson is transitional. Mount is injury uncertain. And even Kobbie Mainoo, as brilliant as he is, cannot carry the midfield alone. United's hierarchy and Ruben Amorim are aligned on one thing. Any midfielder signed must be elite, long-term and system-defining. No loans, no compromises. That's why three names dominate every internal discussion. Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson. And among them, Baleba is viewed as something different. This story only matters because of who confirmed it. Fabrizio Romano. Romano has revealed that Manchester United have never stopped discussing Carlos Baleba internally, not since last summer. In fact, he confirmed something massive. Personal terms were already agreed last summer. Let that sink in. United didn't just scout Baleba. They didn't just admire him. They went deep enough to agree terms with the player. Romano said, Man United, I can guarantee, have not stopped discussing Carlos Baleba internally. He is still seen as an ideal solution by Ruben Amorim and the club. That word matters. Ideal, not optional, not one of many. Ideal. Carlos Baleba is not flashy, and that's exactly why elite clubs love him. He is physically dominant, positionally disciplined, aggressive in duels, comfortable receiving under pressure. At Brighton, he plays the role modern managers crave, the chaos controller. He breaks transitions, he eats ground, he protects defenders, he allows creators to breathe. In Amorim's system, Baleba would be the midfield anchor, the defensive stabiliser, the tempo enforcer. He is the player that makes systems work. That's why United see him as foundational, not complementary. Brighton value Carlos Baleba at £100 million. Yes, 100 million. That would smash United's transfer record, surpass the Paul Pogba deal, send shockwaves across the league. So why are United still pushing? Because this is not a gamble in their eyes. This is Premier League proven, 21 years old, built for physical leagues, system ready. United don't see £100 million. They see a 7 to 10 year midfield cornerstone, leadership potential, a player who grows with Mainoo. This is a structural signing, not a headline one. This is where the story turns serious. There were real rumours about Bayern Munich in December. Normally, when Bayern enter a race, prices inflate, deals accelerate, clubs panic. But Romano poured cold water on it. He confirmed, Bayern are not working on a deal for Baleba. They feel the player wants to stay in England and last summer wanted to go to Man United. That's massive. Bayern aren't backing out due to money. They're backing out because the player's preference is clear. And when Bayern believe a player is leaning elsewhere, they step away. That tells you everything. Romano was clear, January is unlikely. Brighton do not sell mid-season unless replacement is secured, price is fully met, timing suits them. But here's the key detail. Manchester United remain in constant contact. Not monitoring, not waiting, contact. This means the deal is warm. The player is engaged. United are ready to move the moment Brighton open the door. This is a loaded gun transfer. It fires when Brighton blink. This story tells you one thing above all else. Manchester United are planning properly again. They're not reacting. They're not chasing hype. They're not panicking. They identified Baleba, agreed personal terms, maintained contact, waited patiently, and now even Bayern believe he's heading to Old Trafford. If United land Carlos Baleba, it's not just a signing, it's a declaration of intent. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe for daily Man United transfer intelligence. And let me know in the comments. Would you pay £100 million for Carlos Baleba? Or should United prioritise Wharton or Anderson instead?